Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the FizzBuzz problem. If you haven't heard about it, you don't know what it is, we're going to break that down a little bit and talk about the origins of it, as well as why sort of whiteboard problems are a thing at the end of the day. And I'm actually going to whiteboard it out right here, just because I think everyone should kind of get comfortable with whiteboarding problems out, and I want you to just sort of see the value that it can have to you as a developer and getting you prepped for those job interviews and those algorithm challenges that are so common in our industry. Before we get going, I want to thank our sponsor, USA Creative Space. You'll notice I have a great whiteboard behind me on wheels, double-sided. It comes with, I can't see it because the mic's in the way, but it comes with a bunch of magnets as well. I have some on the other side, a magnetic ruler, and an eraser, and it can flip relatively easily, you can see. And it's as someone who whiteboards out a lot of problems at work, and so at home, I'm solving algorithms, I'm creating wireframes, mockups, being able to really visualize the features I'm trying to deliver. It's a great tool and resource to have a whiteboard at your disposal. If you're interested in it, and you know, this is on wheels, of course, and they can lock in place, so you know, it's not going to roll around as you ride on it, whatnot. But it is one of the most high quality whiteboards I've ever had at any workplace or at home in general. And so if you're interested, there'll be a link in the description where you can check it out, show your support, get one for your home office, and so that you can have the same benefit that I have, being able to whiteboard out solutions. So according to Quora, in the oldest article I could find about why people use FizzBuzz to find out if developers are adequate, if they're well equipped, is because unfortunately most aren't. And this is something that I've discovered now doing interviews for about the last year of my career, where we don't give the FizzBuzz problem, but we give a algorithm in the same difficulty range. It's a nice way of putting it. And I would unfortunately say that about 9 out of 10 people, probably closer to 99 out of 100, can't do it sufficiently. You know, that's really what it came down to. You have people graduating with CS degrees who can't solve basic algorithms. And there's a couple of reasons why. This is what I believe, is because most people cheat through college. 86% of college students cheat. A lot of people pass the test through memorization. They don't really learn, and there's a whole bunch of stuff, and you can go look at the stats on cheating in college and why that might be. So it's, you know, 86% say they've cheated, 97% haven't been caught that have cheated. 3 out of 4 students have said they've copied word for word. 28% said that they've hired a service to do their online classes for them completely. So, you know, 3 out of 4 students that have cheated of the 86% have used a phone or a tablet or a computer to cheat in class. You guys are very ballsy. But that's why, especially with junior developers. But unfortunately, even with senior developers, you know, the FizzBuzz problem, this is a problem that's supposed to take you no longer than 2, 3, at absolute most 5 minutes to get something done. And what you have are, exactly as he puts here, self-proclaimed senior programmers that take 10, 15 or more minutes to solve the FizzBuzz problem. And it's not that you're ever really wanting anybody to figure out, have a program print FizzBuzz. Like, apparently it's a childhood game. It's not one I ever played. At least I don't remember it. But the majority of developers can't do these things, and that's why. You know, as software engineers, we get paid very well, and we are in high demand. And as I've said time and time again, that there's not a shortage of developers, there is a shortage of good developers. And even though the bar has been lowered so much, we're having the same issues in 2018 as they were having in 2007, and I'm sure much longer before then, that we're still trying to come up with solutions to weed out the people who, you know, maybe they've just been able to skate by, or they can't do basic arithmetic in code, and they can't solve these things. And so my goal to sort of shed some light on this and how the FizzBuzz challenge really came about and why there are whiteboard algorithms problems. Does any employer really care that you can whiteboard out, if a string is a palindrome or something like that? Are you going to be working with palindromes? No, but they do want to see that you can solve a basic problem in a short amount of time, because and I like this. I like this last thing, this last paragraph of this blog, about the developers and like how if they fail at FizzBuzz, that it doesn't mean that it can't write good code. It's saying it can't write good code, but they'll take longer to ship it. And if in the business environment, that's exactly what you don't want. It's not that we're identifying great developers and programmers with these algorithm questions. It's that we're identifying the weak ones and not bringing them into the organization. And what you'll have to realize is that whenever you're expanding your team and you're bringing in new devs, what you're looking for is someone who's going to make the team better, someone who's going to raise up the team. And if you can't do some basic algorithms, then you shouldn't want them to be part of your organization. So that's sort of a little bit about how FizzBuzz came about. Let's go ahead and do it on the board real quick and knock it out. All right, so the FizzBuzz problem is classic. It is if it pass in a number or goes 0 to 100, it just sort of depends on how they want to do their iteration, but the concept is the same. We'll just say pass in a number for an input, and so it could be 0 to 100, 0 to 5,000, 0 to 2. And print out all the numbers that are, if it's evenly divisible by 3, print fizz. If it's evenly divisible by 5, print buzz. If it's evenly divisible by 3 and 5, print FizzBuzz for all the numbers to that number. So let's go ahead and do that. So when you're solving this, you want to, usually whatever whiteboard problem you're on will let you solve it in language of your choice. We'll just go ahead and do JavaScript. And you want to go ahead and make sure you, of course, name things appropriately as you're going. So a good name for this would probably just be FizzBuzz. Right? And what are we passing in here? Well, the number that we want to iterate up to. So num will work for that. Excellent. Now, we're going to check all the values up to that number. So that's going to be a simple enough for loop. And we can go ahead and initialize it from 0 up. All the positive numbers, I should say, right? Just to clarify. So while I is less than or equal to the number that we're passing in, we want to go ahead and do I++. Excellent, excellent. So in any algorithm solution, there's going to be multiple ways to solve these things. I'm just going to do the one that comes to mind. And the way that I would solve this is I'd create this little placeholder value called word, or variable rather, and I'm going to initialize it to an empty string. And I would say if I modulo 3, if I modulo 3 is exactly equal to 0, what we want to go ahead and do, and might get a little small here, we just want to go ahead and concat onto our word. We'll use plus equals, and we want to go ahead and concat onto it fizz. And then we can do another if here. We say if I modulo 5 is equal to 0. Apologize for the bad text here. We'll go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and concatenate onto that buzz plus equals to buzz. And now we're getting fizz, we're getting FizzBuzz, and now we're getting buzz, fizz, buzz, and FizzBuzz because we're just concatenating onto it. And then we can do a simple check here on if word. So because this is JavaScript, we have falsy values. A falsy value would be that an empty string. An empty string would fail. So if we have fizz or buzz in here, it wouldn't be an empty string. And thus, we're just going to go ahead and console.log word out because we want to have this last check in here just so that it doesn't print out something that we don't need it to print out something that's empty, right? Honestly, you probably don't have to have that check in there and solve that. Be good enough. Multiple ways to solve it, but that's it. This is the standard that 9 out of 10 people can't solve, unfortunately, and why we as software engineers are forced to do algorithm whiteboard interview problems. And this is at the bottom of the barrel for the most part. The next thing below this is like taking two numbers, add them together. But the good news is that if you work hard and you're able to think like a developer and break down simple problems, and this problem doesn't take you 15 minutes to solve with help, that you have a lot of job security and you're going to do very well for yourself and you're going to work hard, right? But that's a little bit about FizzBuzz, a little bit about the history of it and why it exists, unfortunately, and why it's so hard to find quality developers. With that being said, I do want to thank you guys for watching the video. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And a special thanks again to our sponsor, USA Creative Space, for the whiteboard and helping out the channel and allowing me to continue to get better. Check them out in the description below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. One additional thing, guys, if that seemed hard to you, and that's okay, right? We all start someplace. At some point, I couldn't do that, right? That was something that was beyond me. I looked at that, and my brain went scrambled eggs, right? So, because we know no one comes out of the womb knowing how to code, right? Knowing how to think like a developer. But if that looked hard to you, and you want or you want to just get better at solving algorithms, I recommend my 100 algorithm challenge course. You can get in the description below for just $9.99, where I go over 100 different algorithms, break it down piece by piece, so that you can kill those technical interviews. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to check out my 100 algorithm challenge course. Get you prepped for those technical interviews to make sure you get nice offers. I actually just added some new content to it so you can get prepared for those technical phone screens as well. There's a link in the description to get it for just $9.99.